This is your temporary sidearm.
What happens if we're putting pistols in a machine gun fight?
Do you have a problem?
The 10 grand drop. You should have been back 5 minutes ago.
They're serious!
Leave this to me.
Get in the truck next time.
The story of Wrath of Man unfolds with a gritty intensity that blends mystery, revenge, and the cold precision of a man who refuses to stop until every hidden truth is exposed. The narrative revolves around a quiet but intimidating character known as H, a man who joins an armored cash truck company after a devastating heist left innocent people dead. What appears to be a simple job quickly turns into something far more personal, as his calm demeanor masks a violent past and a mission driven by deep loss. As the company's employees try to assess who this new recruit really is, H reveals only as much as he wants them to see, just enough to appear normal, yet not enough to hide the dangerous aura that hangs around him like a shadow. His cold efficiency during attacks on the armored trucks raises more questions than answers, leaving everyone around him unsettled. Every scene builds suspense around his hidden purpose, slowly guiding the audience into the storm he has been carrying inside long before he joined the company. The film's tension rises as flashbacks reveal that Xi's son was killed during a carefully planned robbery connected to the same criminal underworld that the armored truck company constantly battles. This single moment of tragedy becomes the fuel behind every deliberate move he makes. Wrath of Man shows a man shattered by grief, yet held together by a dangerous sense of determination. Each encounter he faces becomes a calculated step toward discovering the truth behind the robbery that changed his life. The company he joins unknowingly becomes the battleground where H begins connecting the dots between thieves, insiders, and the hidden masterminds who orchestrated the crime. The emotional weight behind his journey is not expressed through dramatic speeches, but through his silence, the sharpness of his decisions, and the relentless drive with which he pursues every connection. Through this, the movie maintains a dark, brooding atmosphere where every moment is charged with tension and uncertainty. What sets Wrath of Man apart is how it shifts perspectives, revealing the events of the story from several angles, each new viewpoint filling gaps, clarifying motives, and exposing the choices that brought both criminals and victims into the same violent chain of events. The criminals behind the heist are shown as more than typical villains. They are individuals driven by greed, desperation, or the thrill of orchestrating a seemingly perfect operation. Their internal conflicts and power struggles create cracks in their unity, and these cracks are what H expertly exploits. Each revelation pushes the narrative closer to a collision course, one that many of the characters never see coming until it's too late. The shifting timeline keeps the audience engaged, allowing them to piece together the truth just as H does, slowly, painfully, and inevitably. The armored truck company itself becomes an important backdrop. The training routines, the dangerous routes, and the constant threat of ambush highlight the world these employees live in. Quickly proves he is unlike anyone they've hired before. His almost military precision, quick reflexes, and fearless attitude during shootouts leave even the most experienced guards bewildered. While some admire his skills, others grow suspicious. Conversations filled with subtle doubt and quiet speculation create an air of mistrust inside the building. He becomes the center of unanswered questions, yet no one can deny his effectiveness. Every time a new attack occurs, H responds with a lethal clarity that suggests he is not just fighting for survival, he is hunting. The criminals, unaware of who H truly is, continue preparing for another large-scale robbery. Among them is the figure responsible for the shot that killed his son, though neither side knows the identity of the other at first. As the story unfolds, the tension becomes a countdown to the moment when truth, vengeance, and violence will collide. His investigation begins cracking open the layers of the organization behind the robbery. His brutal interrogations and silent stalking of those connected to the crime reveal his transformation from grieving father to unstoppable force. Every encounter he has with the criminal world strips away another layer of the mystery, each step bringing him closer to the answers he seeks. The build-up to the final heist is thick with anticipation. The audience watches the criminals meticulously plan their attack, believing they are preparing for another flawless operation. Their confidence becomes a dramatic contrast to H's cold focus. With every detail they arrange, the tension grows because the viewers know H is closing in on them. The armored truck company unknowingly becomes the stage for a final showdown, one that none of them anticipate will turn into a violent reckoning. The criminals move with practiced precision, executing their plan with military-like coordination. But his presence changes everything. Once the heist begins, the film's energy shifts into high gear. The chaos of gunfire, tactical maneuvers, and desperate escapes is framed with raw intensity. His entrance into the battle is not that of a hero, but of a man whose grief turns into controlled fury. His primary goal is not to save the money or protect the company. His mission is revenge. The moment he finally comes face to face with the man responsible for his son's death becomes the emotional climax of the story. The confrontation is brutal and unflinching, reflecting the depth of H's pain. There is no negotiation, no hesitation, only the final fulfillment of a promise he made to himself the day his world collapsed. As the dust settles, Wrath of Man reveals a conclusion that mirrors the tone of the entire journey, dark, ruthless, and bound by a sense of grim justice. He will not emerge as a triumphant hero. Instead, he stands as a man who has done what he believed necessary, regardless of the cost. His path has been marked by violence, loss, and moral ambiguity. The film embraces the complexity of revenge, showing how it consumes everything in its path. The closing moments leave viewers with a quiet heaviness, reminding them that revenge rarely leads to peace. It only ends a story that began with pain. Beyond its narrative, the film presents a style rooted in sharp cinematography, heavy shadows, and an atmosphere that blends crime drama with emotional depth. The character interactions feel grounded, with each personality adding a unique tension to the story. The armored truck company employees bring realism to their roles as everyday workers thrown into dangerous circumstances. The criminal crew brings unpredictability, their shifting loyalties adding twists that keep the audience uncertain of what will happen next. Remains the silent center of the film, embodying strength and vulnerability through minimal dialogue, but maximum intensity. The movie's pacing ensures that every moment, whether calm or chaotic, serves a purpose. Each quiet scene builds character, while each action sequence raises the stakes. The shifting timelines never feel confusing. Instead, they enhance the story, showing how different lives collided in the events leading up to the tragedy and the violent path that followed. The layered structure allows the audience to understand both sides of the conflict while still rooting for his mission, even when his methods blur moral boundaries. As a cinematic experience, Wrath of Man offers a blend of suspense, emotional depth, and action-driven storytelling. It highlights themes of loss, the cost of vengeance, and the lengths a person will go to seek justice when the system fails them. The portrayal of H's internal struggle makes the story more than just an action film. It becomes a character-driven exploration of grief. Even as he displays fierce determination, the subtle moments where his pain surfaces remind the audience of the human core beneath his hardened exterior. These emotional layers give the film lasting weight, making it resonate beyond the high-octane sequences. The movie captures the corrupt complexities of criminal networks, showing how greed often overshadows loyalty. It also reflects the vulnerabilities within industries that handle immense amounts of money daily, exposing the moral fragility that some individuals face when confronted with temptation. Wrath of Man blends these elements into a cohesive narrative that reveals how desperation and ambition can destroy individuals from within. The criminals believe in their own intelligence and planning, but the film shows how a single, unexpected force, his unrelenting pursuit, can unravel even the most carefully constructed schemes. In the end, Wrath of Man stands as a story about consequences. Every character faces the outcome of their actions, whether driven by greed, vengeance, or survival. His journey concludes, not with celebration, but with the cold realization that vengeance does not heal loss, it only ends the path toward it. Yet the film allows the audience to feel the complexity of his choices, acknowledging both the darkness of his mission and the tragedy that fueled it. The result is a powerful blend of action and emotion, leaving viewers with a story that lingers long after the final scene.